Okay, in this exercise I'm going to show you how to do a mixed cell reference. You use a mixed cell reference when you want part of your formula to go back to the same cell in every single row, and then you want it to update with the relative values in another part of your table. So for example, look at this right here. I've got a price of, this is for like a school fundraiser, and they've got like branded lamps for the school, cell phone cases, hoodies, that sort of thing. What they do here is we've got the price, and then we've got the number of units that were sold under every single one of these items right here. And what I've done is this total here is just the total number of units that are sold. So all I did there was use the sum function, sum d5. And then we have in here, you know, what day each of these sales were made, and we have the column which tells you how many units we sold every day of the week. And each of these have a price. What we want to do is we want to have a table that looks like this, where what it does is it takes 1 and multiplies it by 25 and it puts it here. And then when we copy this formula over, it updates the column to Sundays to that 3 and multiplies it by 25, giving us 75 here. And then it takes the 4 and multiplies it by that 25 and puts it there. The 5, and it multiplies by 25, which gives you 125. So do you see how this formula is updating the numerator, which is the number of units sold, every time it's copied to a new position, but it's keeping the price constant. And we want to be able to take this formula that we create, we want to be able to put it right here, we want to be able to take that formula and just copy it to all the different cells in this whole area. Like that. I think my mouse needs replacement. Okay, there you go. And when we press enter, we want it to give us all those formulas. So what it did was it took each one of these individual items, multiplied it by the price, and put it in the appropriate row here, down here. And then for the next row, it would take the 10 and put it by 36.5 and give me 365 right here. Take the 12, multiply it by 365, 36.5, and give me this number here. So I want the numerator to update when I copy this formula, but I want the row to remain static, only updating when I move to a new row. That's how I was able to go this times this is that, and this times this is that in the same formula. So how do we do that? So let me just delete all this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 25. Actually, I'm going to take the 1 and I'm going to multiply it by the 25. And if I put the $sign before, I believe that's what will make it. So instead of having a regular cell address would have double $signs, if I have only $1 sign, then that will make it so that it only updates for the when I copy to a different row. You see how that worked? And I could take that same formula and I can drag it down here as well. Let me show you that one more time. Equal sign, put my mouse by that, the 1, multiplied by the 25. If I put my mouse in front of that C14, which refers to the 25, and type a $sign, what that will do will make it so that the rows will update every time I copy to a new row, but on the row that you're on, it'll keep that price as the denominator of the formula. So now I can take that and drag, my mouse doesn't seem to be cooperating, and drag it all the way down like that. Okay? So that's how you do it when you want an item, one of the values of the row to stay constant as you copy the formula, but you want it to update as you go to a new row. So it's kind of a mixture of relative and absolute cell addressing. I can also do it this way as well. Okay, here we've got to get rid of that. Let's just say that the value that you want to go back to on every single column is a column value. Well, then you have to do it a little differently. You would go equal sign 1 times the price, which is 25, but instead what I do is I put my mouse after the D, not after the alphabetical figure, not before it. And then when I take that, I can copy it all the way down here. Time for a new mouse. There we go. And then it worked. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do Control tilde here so that you can see this formula right here for a minute. Maybe jot it down. And I'm also going to show the profits over here and the formulas that I used. Okay, so that's how you do a mixed cell reference that uses both absolute and relative cell addresses.